Silence is not the absence of action, it is the presence of wisdom. There are seasons in destiny where the loudest statement you can make is restraint. Many people misunderstand silence and mistake it for fear, weakness, or lack of confidence. But in truth, silence is often the evidence of maturity. When God begins a work in a person, He rarely starts with visibility. He starts with alignment. He starts with shaping the heart, refining intentions, strengthening character, and building capacity. Silence creates the environment where this inner work can happen without interruption. When you speak too early, you scatter your focus. Every explanation costs energy. Every justification drains strength. Silence preserves your emotional, spiritual, and mental resources so they can be invested where they matter most. Destiny requires concentration. Vision demands undivided attention. You cannot be building and defending at the same time. Silence allows you to build without distraction. It protects your momentum from the weight of external opinions that were never meant to guide your journey. There is also a spiritual dimension to silence. Alignment with divine timing requires sensitivity, and sensitivity is sharpened in quietness. When you talk too much, you drown out discernment. Silence positions you to hear clearly, to receive instructions accurately, and to move in precision. Many errors are not the result of rebellion, but of noise. Silence slows you down just enough to stay aligned with the right pace, the right people, and the right decisions. Silence is also a shield. Not everyone who hears your vision is qualified to steward it with you. Some people doubt not because the vision is wrong, but because their exposure is limited. Others resist not because they hate you, but because your progress confronts their comfort. Silence protects you from unnecessary spiritual and emotional warfare. It keeps your assignment hidden until it is strong enough to withstand opposition. Just because something is good does not mean it should be announced. Timing determines safety. In silence, confidence is refined. When you are no longer seeking validation, your belief system becomes rooted. You stop needing applause to continue. You stop needing agreement to obey. Silence trains you to depend on conviction rather than affirmation. It teaches you to trust the process even when no one else can see it. This is how inner strength is built. This is how endurance is formed. Silence also preserves purity of motive. When your plans are hidden, you are less tempted to perform for approval. Your obedience becomes genuine, not performative. Your work becomes worship, not a display. Silence keeps your heart aligned with purpose rather than praise. It reminds you that destiny is fulfilled before God long before it is celebrated by people. Remain silent because silence keeps you focused, protected, aligned, and strong. There is a time to speak, but there is also a time to grow quietly. What is nurtured in silence emerges with authority. What survives obscurity carries weight. And when the season of silence ends, it will not end in noise. It will end in results. There is a danger in unveiling what has not yet been fortified. Premature revelation exposes a vision to pressures it was never designed to handle at that stage. Every assignment attracts resistance, not because it is announced, but because it exists. However, when you speak too early, you accelerate the intensity of opposition before your spiritual, emotional, and strategic capacity is ready. What could have been resisted quietly becomes a public battle, and many destinies collapse not under attack, but under the weight of attention. When you reveal a vision before it has taken root, you invite voices that were never meant to influence your direction. Some will mock, others will doubt, and a few will compete. Even well-meaning people can destabilize you with advice that does not come from understanding. Their questions can introduce uncertainty, their opinions can dilute clarity, and their expectations can shift your focus. Premature revelation turns a private assignment into a public debate, and destiny cannot survive where conviction is constantly negotiated. There is also the issue of distraction. Once something is announced, it demands maintenance. You feel pressured to update, to explain delays, to justify progress, or to defend decisions. Instead of channeling your energy into execution, you begin managing perceptions. This subtle shift drains productivity. You begin to work for appearance rather than for impact. The assignment becomes noisy, not because it is moving fast, but because it is being talked about more than it is being built. Premature revelation also attracts spiritual warfare that could have been avoided or delayed. Some battles are scheduled by heaven, but others are triggered by carelessness. When you expose a divine instruction too soon, you draw unnecessary resistance that requires strength you may not yet possess. It is not wisdom to fight wars before your armor is complete. Silence delays conflict until authority is established. It allows you to grow in secret so that when opposition comes, you are not overwhelmed. Another danger is emotional fatigue. When people know your plans, they attach expectations to them. Their anticipation becomes pressure. Their timelines become burdens. You begin to feel responsible not only for obedience, but for meeting human projections. This can produce anxiety, frustration, and discouragement, especially when progress is slow or invisible. What began as a joyful assignment becomes heavy because it was shared too early. Silence would have protected your joy. Premature revelation can also corrupt motives. Applause can come before results, and when praise precedes substance, pride has an entry point. You may begin to measure success by attention rather than completion. Silence guards humility. It ensures that when recognition comes, it is deserved, not anticipated. It keeps your heart focused on finishing well rather than being seen early. Wisdom understands timing. Not every truth is meant to be shared immediately. Some things are revealed only after they have produced evidence. Silence is not denial, it is preparation. Remain quiet until your work can speak. When the vision is complete, it will no longer need protection. It will stand on its own, immune to opinions, distractions, and unnecessary battles. There is a power that only completion gives. Until something is finished, it is vulnerable. It can be questioned, misunderstood, criticized, or dismissed. But when a thing is complete, it carries authority that words can never replace. Results silence arguments, evidence ends debates. This is why wisdom teaches you to labor in quietness and let the outcome announce itself. Explanations are only necessary when results are absent. When proof appears, defense becomes irrelevant. Many people talk themselves into exhaustion, trying to convince others of what they are becoming. They explain their intentions, justify their delays, and defend their choices. Yet none of these move destiny forward. Completion does. Progress, validated by results, commands respect without demanding it. When something works, it no longer needs permission to exist. When it produces impact, it no longer needs approval to be acknowledged. Authority flows naturally from evidence. Completion also brings confidence that is unshakable. Before you arrive, doubt can still whisper, questions can still linger. But once you have reached, once the assignment has produced fruit, your confidence is no longer theoretical. It is grounded in experience. You are no longer hoping it will work. You have seen it work. This kind of assurance cannot be argued away. It is not emotional. It is established. There is a dignity that comes with letting your work speak for you. It removes you from the cycle of comparison and competition. You are no longer reacting to what others are doing or saying. You are standing in what has been built. Completion frees you from the need to explain yourself to those who never believed. It frees you from seeking validation from people who were never part of the process. Arrival settles questions without conversation. Completion also protects humility. When results speak, you are less tempted to exaggerate, to boast, or to announce yourself. The work is visible, and visibility carries responsibility. You understand that what has been achieved is bigger than your effort alone. This awareness keeps your heart grounded. It keeps you grateful rather than proud. It keeps you focused on stewardship rather than celebration. There is also a spiritual law at work. Authority follows obedience to the end, not enthusiasm at the beginning. Many start well, few finish strong. Completion distinguishes the disciplined from the distracted. It reveals who had endurance, who had focus, and who trusted the process even when it was silent. When you finish, you carry a weight that cannot be imitated. It is the weight of faithfulness. Remain silent until you reach, because arrival eliminates the need for persuasion. Let your consistency become your testimony. Let your endurance become your voice. Let your results become your announcement. When you arrive, you will not need to introduce yourself. What you have built will speak long before you open your mouth.